Oh, yeah. So NSA Data Collection, Snowden gets asylum in Russia. Well, that's a different topic.
No, actually, that kind of go along the same thing, because how we found out about the NSA was because of Snowden.
Right.
And that's what really opened the box, the Pandora's box of what's going on. First of all, the NSA, I know under the Patriot Act, they had the ability to really go in and watch for terrorists, and then to be able to listen into communications that were going to foreign countries that are known as terrorist states. But how did the NSA come back to the United States and we have a Snowden with this huge controversy?
Well, but the NSA's been at it all along. That's the point.
You mean in our country?
Yes, in our country.
In our country?
It could happen here. It's happening here.
You mean at your house?
Yeah. Maybe not my house. I don't know.
Is it at your house? Is it at your place of work? Is it here at the media center?
You know what? I have a telephone. Yeah.
If you have a telephone. Do you have a cell phone?
I have a cell phone.
Guess what?
That's right.
They're right there in your pocket.
Right.
Because everyone doesn't understand that in the old days when there was hard line wires, it was more difficult to listen to everybody because it was just too complicated.
Right. And now the big fat fiber goes into a splitter, and one half of it goes directly to the NSA, that big building they have.
Aren't they building the largest data collection center in Utah right now?
Somebody's got to keep that data.
Yeah, well, what I understand, and what Snowden, and I will tell you, Snowden to some people is a patriot, some people is a traitor, some other people a whistleblower.
That's a very good topic, big topic.
Yeah, but the thing is, what he did allow us to find out was that the NSA has effectively gone beyond the premise of the Patriot Act, and I use that. I mean, tonight's a lot of issues that are kind of scary if you think about it. But it's far beyond the Patriot Act, and right now it's into the point where they can collect, and they are allegedly collecting every piece of data that's every communication device by every citizen in our country.
Right.
To look for
to make us safe.
To make us safe.
Well, so as we discussed earlier, I wish I could remember the name of the book, the author event that I heard, where he talked about how what the PRISM program of the NSA is the same program as Carnivore in the 70s.
Carnivore was under Nixon.
Basically the same program, and when Congress ordered it shut down, what they did was they renamed it, reallocated the budget to somewhere else, and, you know, they probably trimmed it down, but they basically kept it going.
Right.
All these years, 30 years, 40 years.
But with the technology.
Right.
The technologies just opened the door. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yes.
And now they're talking about if you buy the new Samsung Smart TV, now they're looking into your living room through your own camera in the Smart TV, and they can be watching you.
Well, now, when I read that article, what I was thinking is, all right, it's a hacker who did that. Now,
if a hacker can do that.
If the hacker can do it, the government can do it too, and they
more efficiently.
Yes, that's right.
And a larger scale.
Yes. So here we are, 1984.
But beyond that, but I want to take us back for a minute. Let's talk about the Fourth Amendment, which is kind of the basis why we're supposed to be protected.
Yeah.
The Fourth Amendment goes back long, long ago into a country called England.
To the original Tea Party.
To the original Tea Party. That's right when they came here. But originally, a lot of people, a lot of the Puritans, left England for religious freedoms. They came to this country. Well, as the time went on, the English came over and they started doing business with the Puritans and all of that. And but they had their harsh rules they brought from England. And those harsh rules meant if you don't say what we want you to say, or we don't like what you're saying, we're going to kick your door open under a warrant of some sort and confiscate all your materials, confiscate your goods, confiscate everything. Well,
did the English have warrants in Revolutionary times?
Yes, they did.
Really?
But the warrants were only issued by a governor of that area. They weren't a court warrant.
Right.
It was a different warrant. The term warrant has changed its meaning over the years.
Yeah.
But the word warrant still exists. So the Fourth Amendment, which was developed by our forefathers in this country, said you are to be protected And what are they?
Against unreasonable search and seizure of persons, places and things.
Correct. Okay,
Yes.
now, this is interesting
Your
because
phone records are a thing.
yeah, because now we're talking about something that you're protected. Now, the part that's tricky here is the Fourth Amendment does allow for a search and a seizure based on probable cause, which can be generated from reasonable suspicion.
Could be articulated clearly in front of a magistrate.
In front of a magistrate. And then the magistrate will issue a warrant
Yes.
that you can go and search a property.
A particular place and
A particular place
Right.
and a time,
Right.
you know, spelled out.
right.
And you're looking for something that's been spelled out in the application to get the warrant based on your probable cause and reasonable suspicion.
Right.
So, how does the NSA, when I pick up my cell phone, and they don't, you know, they're collecting it anyway,
Right.
what is the reasonable suspicion or the probable cause that says they can listen into my private conversation?
Oh, because you might use the word bomb in your phone conversation. You might say, "I saw this movie and it was a real bomb."
Bomb.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, is that when everything's going to be triggered?
Yes.
So when we go back to our forefathers, they were afraid
Of that.
of that.
Yes.
Now, what do we have today? We already know what we talked about originally, but let's go back in time. Why people feel more secure in their homes knowing that you can't just kick the door in for no reason to roust you effectively and take your possessions. Why? Why do they feel good about that? Because they protected their lives, their homes, their families.
Yes. Okay.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
So when people start doing that, what if instead of the NSA monitoring all calls, that they randomly selected homes to kick the door in and search without probable cause? How would you feel about that, Dan?
Oh, I'm not sure where you're going.
I'm asking you a question. Instead of the NSA tapping your phone.
Well, what I'm thinking about is what you were talking about a few weeks ago about gun registration. And now it seems a little more ominous, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
It's a whole different subject.
I know,
The state of
different subject.
California's got 7 bills up right now
Yes.
that'll make your right to use a firearm illegal. You have to register your bullets. You
Right.
can't have any push-button magazines. You can't have magazines from the past. You can't have guns from the past. Any past thing that you've already freely registered under directives and done it legally, that's gone.
Right.
And you know what else? The use of a weapon now is going to, they're increasing the penalties for each of those things. So we're not going to get into that. But what if the police said, "I think you have a gun, so we're going to kick your door open"?
Right. Right. Same
So
as,
and now they have another reason, because you originally registered. But anyway, let's move on to our third topic tonight. And what is our third topic?
Okay, but wait. Last word. Do you think there is any hope for the NSA being reined in? I don't. I don't
Well,
really think there's
I
any
am going to add one last thing. The head of the NSA lied under oath to Congress that we're not collecting data. So do I think there's hope? Not under this regime.